Hey everybody, it's Mary Ellen. Um, really happy to be here today. I haven't been online live doing live streams, as you all know, for quite a while. A lot going on in my life. So there's been a lot of challenge in the past, and I want to just make sure that I can be seen, that people are here. So if you're here, please say hello. Please let me know where you're streaming in from, and we'll go forward. There are many things to talk about today. We're going to jump into the cards. And I have a special guest. All right, so let's see. So in the past, what was happening, I was streaming, and I'm looking at my software. As you can tell, I'm a little distracted. It's telling me that I'm streaming. So I have to depend on you folks actually to let me know that you're here. So please do that. And I don't know what the issues were in the past with the streaming. So again, if you're here, please say hello. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm just going to kind of wait a minute for people to show up. And I'm hoping that we're going forward. Okay. Whew, I'm just going to shuffle while I'm waiting. So as I was pre-shuffling, clearing the deck really, cards started jumping out. So I stopped because when that happens, it tells me that the deck is really ready to go, kind of like a racehorse in the gate. So I've been kind of holding off a little bit. So I'm just going to continue to shuffle, okay? All right. My guides are chattering already in the background, talking about this powerful full moon in Scorpio and the way it is, what's happening. So I've been getting some streaming, as you know, as I often do, about this. So there's information coming through to me about this moon, probably to all of you too, as everybody increases their psychic capacity while we master our energy here in 2019. So when this moon comes forward, it's on the 18th. Of course, it's in Scorpio. It's about going deep. But what my guys have been saying to me is it's not just about going deep to access that which is within each of us, wherever that falls in your chart. You folks know enough to sort of, okay, there's the next card, know enough to go and look online at the astrology, your birth chart, which you can get free online in case you don't know. So part of what's happening is this moon, because it's a culmination point, is meant to help us. Okay, my guys are saying the word subterranean. And what they're talking about is the depths of the ocean. So they always say to me, you know, the sort of whole Scorpio vibration, it's the deep, in a sense, in a physical form here in this realm. So there are lots of things that we all need to discover. We need to dive deep. So this moment is about re-emerging up to the surface. So, you know, the nature of a Scorpio, at least the Scorpios that I've been journeying with over the last, I would say, 2 years, it is the experience of the challenge of living in both places, right? So being a natural set point that seeks out the deep and all the what that means. There's a point at which that part of the journey needs to be cyclical. It needs to culminate. And so here we are in this full moon. I believe that because we're getting set up now for what's happening in 2020, part of that exploration that you've been doing, they're saying scuba divers, you meant to collect those things and bring them up to the surface now. That's why it's a culmination point. So we're just going to go forward. I want to show you the cards. I think what I'm going to do is the cards are just jumping. So let's do the cards. And I want to speak with you a little bit about my special guest, relevant to this whole notion of coming up to the surface. All right. So, Spirit, here are the first two cards. I'm trying not to push things off my desk. All right, here are the first two cards that came up. Of course, anytime there's a significant moment of shift or change or any of those things on the menu, this guy shows up, the dedicator of Lord, the sacred initiate, standing with the goddess of sacrifice and making a decision to be willing to be present. And it's interesting given the things that Spirit was just talking about. So it's about being present in order to go deep. And it seems like a paradox, but it's really not. So anytime you're in this type of energy, which we all are, we have to be really, really present in this kind of a way, being willing to dedicate ourselves, if you will, in order to go deep and go into the places, the void, so to speak, to accept the energy, to work with the energies that exist. And, blind trust, all those things. And there's the goddess of sacrifice bestowing the amulet upon the initiate. So as a collective, I hope it's clear to everybody at this point, that's where we're at. Each and every person having their own journey. The eclipses are coming. My guides are already talking about the eclipses and the solstices and those kinds of things. All those things meant to help us master our energy. So wherever you have been, diving deep or deep down into your own process, this is a moment when this full moon comes to bring that into the light and to reveal it to yourself. And those of you who have been following along who know me well know I'm in the middle of that process for myself. Amazing things are happening. Okay, I'm going to clip that off. My guides are talking. So what I love about that whole notion of the initiate, there's the next card. The elopement of art. That's the Eight of Cups. And there they are, these two people. They're deep down underground in the bottom chamber, my guides are saying, the basement, whatever word you would put on it, the dungeon maybe, of a castle. And they went there without a prior plan. They just discovered a treasure map, and they went together to this place to find the treasure. They stepped up on the platform and began to plunder the bowl. And immediately what happened was they got stuck to it. And we see the male energy there looking at the bowl in a state of shock, thinking, oh my God, what just happened to me? I'm stuck here. And this woman is dressed in these purple blue garments. All right. So what's happening to the male part of the energy is experiencing a lot of new growth. And on the feminine side, transformation. She's looking outward. She does not want to be stuck to the bowl. He's still figuring it out. And so my guides are saying, while he is there, they're saying sitting, but in the illustration, he's kneeling. While he's kneeling there, he's contemplating himself and what it is he's stuck to, in a sense. And this woman is being completely transformed, and she knows where she wants to go. She wants to join the stream of life. So there's a deep well, my guides are saying, streaming through this place. All the things that I was just talking about, right, coming up from the deep. So here's the first card on the human realm. Quest of knowledge. Yes, that's what the quest has been about. And so I love that there we see the male energy. He now looks as though he's been transformed. And, he's standing sort of euphemistically on the mountaintop. There are the guides, there are the angels. However you interpret that, always fine with me, always fine with my guides. Coming to a place when we all, I think this is about the collective. When we emerge as a collective and we reach the pinnacle after having been here. Oh, I forget, it's backwards. There's a transition going on, right? And it is, in a sense, it's a rebirth, because that's what this is all about. Dedicating ourselves to what's coming next, to this place we are all traveling to. So I like that that's coming out that way. So Spirit, let's see they're talking to me about the collective. All right, here's the next card. And obviously it's about this. It's about coming into our power, our real power, our strength that we fund. So in the Celtic Wisdom Tarot deck, this is a story about, okay, my guides are correcting me, about a warrior who rose up in insurrection against the Roman army. So you can go into history and look at that, and my guys are saying she rout them, right? she has the sacred sword of victory in her hand, and it was her will, it was her strength that caused her to be able to do what she did. So we are in a period of time, I think, when we are all meant to come into our strength. Whatever that is, whatever your astrology is, I think it's important, as always, to come into close, okay, my guides are saying, alignment and understanding with your own personal energetic set point, your frequency. It is going to be bringing tensile strength, my guides are saying, to this tapestry that's being woven. So, all right, hang on a second. They're talking about armor. There's something about, I don't know, the word that's coming through is chainmail. I don't even know what that means. And they're talking about armor. I think they're talking about the way a warrior has a woven protective garment and how that relates to our individual energies, and then how that is woven together. Okay, there's just so much coming through. In order to complete what is meant to happen, that's how we master our energy and our frequency. So it's incumbent upon us as individuals, but to understand, that's what it is, thank you, Spirit, to understand the impetus of that and what it's for, because we're coming into some very challenging times as Pluto finishes its work in Capricorn and gets ready to move on in 2023. It's the final phase, my guides are saying. So this Scorpio full moon, very important to that effort. I really like that that's coming forward. So let's grab another card. Let's see, Spirit, what is it? Okay, two things. Of course, the reason this is here, my guides are saying, that in Celtic Wisdom Tarot is the imaginer of harmony. That which we can imagine while we master our energy and we come into our frequency and allow ourselves to go deep into this watery world where there's an immense amount of power. You know, we all know the Scorpio set point is extraordinarily powerful, but in its own way. And so that's what we're getting chided about. Time to come up and emerge on the full moon from where you've been and get in that vessel and sail away to the destination that you desire and the things that were shown to you while you've been traveling so deep, like this little being does, on this incredible fish. And I love that there's, okay, so Spirit's talking to me about the watery elements and things like that. Hang on, I'm going to get those cards that fell. Okay, so give me a second. I'm going to look. Yeah, okay. So here's the very next card. Love her. That's the sacred grandmother, the Queen of Knowledge. So this is the bridge card, Queen of Knowledge. She literally sits suspended in the universe. And what she does is she weaves together the strings of destiny for her children, for her lineage. So that's what's happening. You know, on a universal scale, my guides are saying. All right, let me see if my spirit guides want me to use this. Okay, there's a lot of chatter coming through. Okay, so bridge card. All right, so it is this emergence when we free ourselves, when we walk away from those things that are buried deep inside of us, right? Obvious. I don't need to tell anybody that. We know. It brings a certain amount of freedom, and that was my spirit guides agreeing with this. I love it. Thank you, Spirit. So sounding the gong, right? Time to walk away. And it's interesting because they're talking about, you know, the way the feminine energy needs to walk away from this way of being stuck. Because it is all about the flow with the sacred feminine, the intuitive side. And working together with the masculine energy in order to move that forward. It is the mystery of the deep feminine energy that is represented by the ocean and the real depths of the ocean. Right? And it is the male energy that grows and transforms and moves things forward so that it can assist the effort of weaving our destiny together. I love that. Thank you, Spirit. So my guides are saying, take special care of both halves of your nature. All right, hang on. So there's the next card. It's interesting, isn't it? Okay, just what I was talking about. So this is that feeling when you're in the deep and you struggle there and you can't figure out how to get back to the surface. The Ten of Battle. All of humanity adrift together, trying to reach a destination, not really even sure where we're going. So this is the soul of the human adventure, my guides are saying. In these moments, the blessing is to be able to have this experience and become very aware of it. So these people in this boat, they're almost at their destination, but they're out, they're just rowing. There's something wrong with their vision, my guides are saying, because the next moment that comes is the moment that they reach the shore that they're trying so desperately to get to. In these moments where they're just rowing and rowing and rowing, all souls together, my guides are saying. It's really fascinating how this is coming out. There's the next card. My guides are saying you don't even need to talk about this. All the things I was just saying about the male and female. All right. On this day of the moon, the full moon in Scorpio on the 18th, my guides are saying, do this within yourself and with the people around you to utilize, okay, hang on, they're chattering. Let me show you something. To utilize the energy that's available to you and the urge. They're talking about the urge. So, day of the moon. And here's, remember this card? That's the card that represents us, humanity, my guides are saying. In the very first part of the reading. It is that to which we must dedicate ourselves. To unbind ourselves so that we can actually exist in a place that looks like this. With our free will, our transformation, our power streaming through to us, the sacred water, so to speak, the light of the full moon, when things are meant to be revealed. And remember this? This is where we're going. So, again, as we sail deeper into 2018, and we are, whether we're conscious or not, we're all working on our energy. There's 3 streams of conversation coming through to me at once today. So I'm going to get the cards out and we're going to talk, okay? And I will let my guides talk. I'm kind of resisting because sometimes it makes it challenging. And I have been, this is, you guys know if you've been following along. So I'm really tired and I'm feeling less able today to triple stream. So I'm just cutting them off a little bit. We'll get there. I'll get there. All right. Whew, give us, obviously. Okay. So this is our desire. That's the world card, right? Major Arcana, the perfecter of energy, Kundalini awakening, coming forward in a cyclical way. And if you look at the breastplate, if you're new, we see this being, it's androgynous, which is perfect. On the breastplate, it's sectioned segregated into 4 sections, or delineated, I guess is the word. And in each of those sections, there is a swastika, the sacred turning of energy, the movement of energy that has to happen in order to have this Kundalini experience so that destiny can turn, the triple spiral of our existence. So again, feminine energy. And my guides are saying, and the tools of the masculine, traditionally, okay, I'm not just whatever. We're talking in generalities, okay? And I leave it to you to understand the inferences. So there we go. Another moment, and that's why the dedicator is here. So I want to show you how it's stacked up on the table. Just so you can see it in real time, my guides are saying. So that you can understand the message and where we're going. And the harmony that we're imagining, of course, is harmony with the self, the perfection of our energy. It is our task this year in 2019. Kind of anybody like me, my guides are saying, who does this kind of stuff. That's the message that we're meant to be streaming out. Pretty much everybody is, because we feel it and you feel it too. So despite what may be going on in the world around us. That is the destiny that's being woven for us to help us come to the place where we're meant to be. That's what's coming through about this. All right, one more card. We'll get an outcome card, and I'm going to pick a rune. Of course. I love it. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so more water energy. The Chariot. Love this. Major Arcana. The mover of energy. That's the point. So that is the... okay, my guys are saying that is the purpose of the energy of this particular full moon in Scorpio. There's a very specific job that it's doing for all of us, and it's helping us move our energy forward because we are meant. Love this. Love this. Whew, I will post this online when we're done, and I'll post the cards in the comment section, okay, of my channel. So look at that. That's how we're meant to move the energy. It's going to take our strength on a human level to have this journey and to rise up from the deep places and begin to let go of whatever it is there that's holding you, causing you to feel trapped, causing you to feel unable to move, that we are meant to walk away from. And walking away has been a big theme in my life. Jeez, I don't know. I think towards the end of March, I can't even remember I've been in such a fog. See that? Do you see the difference in that relationship? These two relationships? How can I do this? A profound change coming forward. The self with the self in a way that's real and enduring and puts an end to this feeling of we can't get there. That's over. That's going to be over, I believe, if you do the tasks that are meant to happen. And of course, it's about perfecting our energy. And we've got Uranus in the mix. There's a lot, as you know, there's a lot going on. Okay, so it's to help us move to the surface, in a sense. So there's some chatter coming through about this experience of being in the deep and being on the surface, being in the depths of life, top side and underside at the same time. That's what we're all working toward. Okay, it's coming out both ways. Working and learning toward in all these ways. And of course, the full moon energy helps us because it's time for us to take what we learn in the deep. When we're done struggling there, we finally release ourselves. They're not stuck. They have the ability to let go. That's sometimes... now they're yanking my chain. They have the ability to let go and walk to the place where they want to go. So use the full moon energy to perfect your own energy and come up from the deep places within you where you may feel trapped and you may feel you can't move. You don't want to walk away. You feel stuck. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that right now. You guys know. Thinking about walking away from Moonrise Cottage. I'm going to get into it, okay? I'll tell you a little bit about what's going on. Okay. So, let's see what I do with all my books. Oh, I pushed them all the way to the back of the desk. Hang on. You guys, so glad to be here with you. All right, here we have this beautiful rune. It is, of course, about signals. That's why we go to the deep, to find out what's down there, my guides are saying, obviously. And then when we learn, okay, they're talking about discoveries. Yeah, they're talking about the frequencies. How it is we use our frequency as an individual when we plumb the depths of our being or our journey, our experience. And we're able then to, that's what they were talking about, okay. To bring that back with you to the surface and weave that into your topside existence. There are a lot of knowings when those two things get woven together. It is not incumbent upon us to reject the deep. But it is incumbent upon us to find a balance between that place and the other place. We all go there sometimes. And whether you know it or not, I think sometimes, okay, my guides are saying it's an extremely seductive energy. And it can be hard to free yourself from being in that place in a negative way. So the way in which we carry our energies into and out of both of those places is what the weaving that my guides are talking about. Let's see if I can put some words on that. Hang on a second. I'm going to read to you about this rune. I just got to get my little glasses. Okay, so this rune is Ansu's. Okay, it is about signals. It is the messenger rune. It's about the god Loki, the trickster. So of course, the way we trick ourselves when we get stuck in the deep, in the dark places, the mysterious places within us that we're so afraid to explore. And the signals that exist for us, of course, in those places that are meant to come to the surface so we can utilize the energy here in our lives and get way down in there and find the treasure that's there. Okay, so the keynote here is receiving messages and signals and gifts. Sometimes a timely warning might be seen as a gift. The message may be that of a new life unfolding. New lives begin with new connections, surprising linkages that direct you onto new pathways. Take care now to be especially aware during meetings and visits and chance encounters, particularly with persons that may be wiser than yourself. When the messenger rune brings a sacred knowledge, you are truly blessed. Loki is the ancient trickster god from the pantheon of the Norse gods. He is a reminder that even scoundrels and arch thieves can be bearers of wisdom. When you draw this rune, expect the unexpected. The message is always a call to a new life. And I think it's true for all of us, each in our own way. Obviously, when you look at what's going on, in the world in general, there's a lot of shape-shifting going on, my guides are saying. So this is the first of the 13 cycle runes that make up the cycle of initiation. Thank you, Spirit. So we're in a new moment, right? I mean, it's true of every moon cycle, every full moon. But this year in 2019, these cycles each have a momentous impact that preparing us for what is coming forward. And it's not just 2020. It's what's coming forward for us as individuals. As we master our energy and we become aware of our truth, my guides are saying, of being an incarnated form of energy pattern. And we're here to have the experience of weaving that together for a purpose. We think we know some of it. I'm not sure. I think there are things coming forward because we have Uranus and Taurus and all these things that are going on. I think there are things coming forward that we can't yet imagine. And, so the imagine of harmony comes, allow yourself to be in the mystery, to be in the deep, to plumb from that place what is meant to come and then bring it up to the surface and hang out with the angels, my guides are saying. So let me finish reading this to you. There it is. Okay. All right, so first of the 13 cycle runes focus directly upon the mechanism of self-change, of course. As such, this addresses our need to integrate unconscious motives with conscious intent. Drawing on Sue's tells you that connection with the divine is at hand. It is a signal to explore the depths, thank you, Spirit, for the confirmation, the foundations of life, and to experience the inexhaustible wellspring of the divine inside your own nature. At the same time, you are reminded that you must first draw from the wellspring to nourish and give to yourself. And then there will be more than enough to nourish others. There's a new sense of family solidarity invested inside of this room. So again, we're talking about the family of, I was going to say humanity. My spirit guides are talking about all creatures that exist here in this realm, because as we become more conscious of ourselves, we become more able to be in an energetic alignment with those creatures because we haven't even scratched the surface of who they are, and they're all around us, aren't they? So I think that as we go forward, hi, Ingrid. I'm glad you're here. I'm just checking the chat a little bit. So as we go forward together, things are going to continue to emerge, of course. No big secret there. So I want to just share a little bit about my own experiences as we come toward this full moon. So I'm in the process of everything I've been talking about, thinking about leaving Moonrise Cottage and going through my own personal crisis over that. Ooh, part of me is ready to be released. You know, there's a lot of this going on inside of me. Part of me feels ready. And then, of course, there's the male part of me, you know, just going through a cycle that feels very much like that. So it's been raining for almost 30 days here. And we had a magical day the other day. Just as the leaves start to emerge, you know, where the colors are translucent and almost neon, and the 10,000 shades of green when you live in a place like the place that I live. So I thought, I'm going to go out and spend some time and sit in the meadow. And the meadow seems to give me gifts from time to time. So I walked across the meadow. There's a spot in the meadow where there's a lot of geothermal energy that comes up literally from the ground. And there's a rock there. I think it's a place for meditation. It's flat and it's always really warm, really hot. So there's energy being streamed up, of course, from that place. It's the first place when there's a snowfall. Sometimes even when there's like 2 feet of snow, that little spot will melt. It's really interesting. So I was walking over towards that place and I looked down and I found this. Now this has not been there. I don't know where it came from. I've never seen it before, but it was clearly obvious all of a sudden. And you know, I have somebody come with a tractor twice a year to bush hog the meadow and cut it down so it doesn't grow into trees and things. So what I love about this gift, it was very shocking to me. And it was on that day I was having a lot of emotion about the, not just the experience of leaving here, but the experience of contemplating leaving here and how it felt to me in all these ways. A lot of sadness, huge measures of relief in some ways, and beginning to ponder what was the point. If you can imagine, that's my deep, like, why was I here? And I started to think back about when I first started building this place. And a shaman showed up, and we were here together for a number of days. I hired a dowser. If you don't know the story, I hired a dowser, and the person who showed up was a shaman. And so we had this really long, intricate journey together, and he asked me a whole bunch of questions, and one of the questions was, why are you the person who is going to build what's meant to rise up on this spot? Now, imagine how intensely shocking that kind of a question is. I had to come up with the answer. And the answer that I gave after, weeping and crying, the tears were streaming down my face, I said, because I'm the one who's willing to do it. So if you look at this crystal, just see what's shining through. So what's happening here actually is this. Let me see if I can show it to you. All right, so here's the sides of this giant rock that somehow came up from the meadow. I still can't figure out what that's all about or where it came from. So there's the bottom. Clearly it has been, cleaved off from something else. But look, do you see this? All the way around, there's a fault line. This thing is coming apart. I blew my mind. Look, it's going to come apart, right? So my urge a little bit, maybe because of the Aries side of my nature, is, oh, good, just pull it off. Let's see what's underneath there. And there's the place of connection, the belly button, my guides are saying. So this is meant to, okay, my guides are saying unhinge itself. It's a process that is happening. Okay, they're talking about geology and et cetera, et cetera. So that's how I feel. I feel as though perhaps I'm just, this part of this thing is meant to come off. And then, of course, it travels on into its destiny, always connected, but and aware of its base, if you will, but a separate entity. And so there are lots of things coming. At some point, I will come out with all of them. Um, and it was very helpful to me. So that's what Spirit's talking about, the depths. And part of what I've come to the understanding of is, oh yeah, or my guides are saying the remembrance. And it is true. I felt from the beginning that this place is not mine. It belongs to everybody, sort of. And that my job was a servant job. Get it built, put it up. I didn't know I was going to have this place for 20 years and all the things that were going to unfold, but I did feel deep from the inside an intense urge, and I couldn't hold it back because being here, building the place was not easy. Living here has not been easy, and it's beautiful in all kinds of ways, stunningly, and yet it's a challenge. So it is a commitment in a way that's profound. And that's what I did when I came here. And I think, in these moments, if we just can each review our lives, look at the commitments that you've made, the impulses that drove you to make them. There's a lot of information down in the deep of those places that are going to help you in these moments, because I know they're challenging. I know a lot of people are struggling. Okay, so let me just hang on a second. I just want to converse a little bit about some of my crib notes. Those of you that are new don't know this, but I'm not an astrologist. I don't try to be. At some point, I might have time to learn that stuff, so I do take a look at the fabulous astrology folks that exist on YouTube to help me get that perspective when I do my live streams. All right, so, this full moon in Scorpio comes in a moment when Saturn and Pluto are both retrograde. More going back over the past, going deep, really deep. It's, in a sense, it's a moment when we get to initiate this energy, because I think it's going to carry us forward like all full moons do for at least 6 months. And it's happening in the moment, the predecessor, my spirit guides are saying, before the eclipses come forward and the equinoxes and the things that are going to carry us into more, this reformation. It's the word they're stuck on, in a way, for the last month or so. So I'm just going to keep saying it because they say it. We'll get some knowledge about that maybe with hindsight. So yeah, it is time to turn inward and ponder the place where your own power exists. So we think about going into the deep and going into, a friend of mine was talking about the shadow spaces, shadow walking, those kinds of things. It's not about the negative. And please give yourself the gift of knowing that it's a net positive. There are things that are hidden within us. There are things that are part of our basis, like the depths of the ocean, part of the basis. That's where the tectonic plates exist, etc., here on this planet. And they move and they shift and things break off, don't they? And, I sort of thought to myself, well, is this my present? Is this my reward for doing what I did in order to cleave myself off from this place and go forward and do whatever's next for me? And continue to be a steward to this place. And that's what I think maybe is evolving. So that maybe I have some continued involvement with this place. But it's time for me to relinquish it from my grip so that what's meant to happen here can come forward. That's what I'm beginning to understand, which helps me have what I hope and I think is clarity and some joy in the moments of sadness that come forward for me when I think about walking away from this place. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, the depths. All right, an important time to do review when we have Saturn, all about structure, and learning and developing structure together with Pluto, and we have Uranus and Taurus, and the retrogrades come in the season just before the fullness, my guides are saying, of the energy that is stacking up. So, like they were saying, yeah, ponder your frequency. Like, literally now, it's time to actually get intellectual about this, I think, to ponder your frequency and to begin to be with yourself in that way. And we do have to go into the depths in order to understand ourselves. I've been in the deep, thrashing around. I've sort of, here's the thing that sort of finally came to me. I don't know if you've seen, I've been continuing to have some prophetic dreaming. So I had a dream about snakes. And at the end of the dream, it was incumbent upon me to deal with the snake that was in my hair and get over my fear and stop wanting someone else to do it and all that kind of stuff. And, finally I just got frustrated with the situation. I thought, well, I just take this thing out of your hair. Why are you running around trying to get somebody else to do it? So in the end of that dream, what emerged actually out of my hair was a squirrel that I was afraid the snake was going to bite me, but what it did was it ingested me. That's given me a shiver, all right? And signified by this squirrel carcass that emerged, that the snake had eaten it, digested it, and I got the mangled leftovers and was up in my hair, and I pulled it down out of there. And finally the other day I realized, oh, that's how I feel. I feel mangled. I feel like I've been digested, eaten by a snake, right? For its sustenance, that energy, that snake energy. So whatever it is, that part of me that is meant to be ingested, be digested, come forward and emerge, like this thing. So I haven't been brave enough yet to sort of pull it apart. I don't think it's time. But I love that that's coming forward, and I feel really grateful for that gift in a way that is extreme at this point. So, in these moments, as we come into them, as we approach the full moon coming in just a couple days now, today's the 12th, so the full moon is on the 18th, we have time to ponder all of this and set our intention. And most people set their intentions on a new moon. But I think in this full moon, it's time to set some intentions about all these things that are coming forward, the way the cards came out, etc. So in order to get down deep and pull the positive energy and the light of understanding and bring it up to the surface, in order to capture it, my guides are saying, and have it available to you on the day of the full moon. So if at all possible, my guides are saying, jump in. So the other thing that's happening over these next months and years, as Pluto finishes its passage through an earth sign, very slowly, if you look at the astrology, the energy is beginning to shift from earth to air. And I love that. It's a fabulous metaphor. So all of this work that we're doing when we're bound, this thing is heavy. See? Beautiful. I mean, this thing is just, the light's not good today because it's been raining for 40 days and 40 nights. This is a really massive crystal is what it is, right? And it's meant to grow up in the place it grew up, however that happened, and it's coming apart. And it's meant to happen. It's not anything that is ungood. I'm really curious about what's in there. And the backside of this crystal, I can't wait to see it. So let's see. Yeah. So, we're going to finish this work with Pluto. And then the energy that is currently earthbound, if you will, is going to be handed to Aquarius. Imagine what Aquarius is going to do with the knowledge and the understanding. And again, they're saying the reformation, the restructuring that is happening here because of the way the planets are aligned. And now in this last phase of Pluto, we have Uranus, the great awakener in an earth sign. It thrills me to no end. So, buckle up, kids. These last couple of years, it's going to be intense. It's meant to be intense so that those things that are meant to separate and be free and come forward and more vision, all that stuff, so that process can happen, and the universe is helping us. So, we're going to experience a lot of increase in our psychic powers, I think. Yeah, they're talking about, okay, so releasing of attachments. I'm in the postdoctoral university of that stuff in my own life. So let me just check my crib notes, see if there's anything else I want to touch on. Take a look at where Venus is. Also very fascinating in this moment. So Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn also involved, we're starting out with this retrograde, but there is a long-term square to Eros in Aries, which has Chiron stationed with it for all this healing to happen. And it's going to be hot, no pun intended. So this square, the way this is happening, it happens one time every 400 years. So again, momentous times that we're in. It is meant for all the things that I've been talking about, that my guides talk about, and anybody else who's on YouTube that's connected in. These are the things coming through. Let's see. So this square, Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, a long-term square to Eros in Aries, bringing forward revolution. Jupiter is going to be trying to this, whatever it's meant to evolve. And I think that's why the Queen of Knowledge is here, weaving together the strings, all the strings of our destiny over time. It's really fabulous. And then Neptune is in Pisces, bringing forward the desire to merge in a very sacred way, really beautiful, just wanting to merge our energies. Once we have hold of ourselves, the natural outcome of that is to merge with other energy forms. And the people who say they experience this twin flame thing, that's the main experience that they have. I see it as, again, just that. I think people get way carried away with romantic stuff, part of it. That's a dissertation for another time. I do believe that people have these experiences because I've been through it a little bit of kind of a lot. And, we're socialized, all of us. My guides are saying it's the first part of learning to use your heart chakra is to be open to those kind of experiences. And then you start having them, then you have to manage yourself. And if you use that energy and that experience incorrectly, you get into an extremely dysfunctional relationship. So it is with caution that we're meant to go forward, and we're learning a little bit at a time. And these alignments are happening in order to assist us. So there are all kinds of other things that are affecting us right now. The Earth axis is moving. It's changing the magnetic resonance of the place in which we live. And I think eventually there's another live stream coming forward, I hope soon, about that, because I think it's important for us to look into that together and just have that inner knowledge base. Let's see. So at the end of the month, all of these energies are going to encapsulate themselves, coalesce, my guides are saying. There's gonna be this dual experience of merging and radiating yourself within yourself, you and you, and also the urge coming up to be merging with the other energy forms that are here, human beings, animals, birds, rocks, crystals, all that kind of thing, because we are raising our awareness of what it is to be a vibratory being, okay? And so as that happens, on the end of the month, the 30th of May, the moon moves into Aries, square Pluto. Woo! Oh boy, am I looking forward to that. It's going to be really intense. And I think it's these moments of volatility that we now need to use to our own benefit. Rather than being afraid of it, step right up, my guides are saying. Step right up to it and absorb the vibration so you understand what it's for. And you can sort of weave yourself into that tapestry. So that's the 30th. And then on the 31st, the moon, once those two power planets come together, then the moon moves into Uranus, or conjunct, I should say, in Taurus. Extreme, extreme energy. So steady yourselves. It's a moment in which we can really change the dynamic of our relationships with ourselves and with other people. So use the energy. May's going to be intense, but things are continuing to churn. And that which is meant to be released, that's what this full moon is for. All right. So first off, release yourself. Go to the deep places inside of you. Secret, hidden, all the things that Scorpio sort of stands for, right? The occult, the deep energy, the dark energy, the void really is what it represents. It's not, I continue to assert this. It is not about something negative. And people throw that, okay, my guys just said, they throw that trash at Scorpio. We have to learn to stop doing that and understand the power of a Scorpio energy and what it's for, especially when we have a full moon in Scorpio. Really prophetic time, I think, coming forward. So I think, gang, I think that's it for today. I've got some readings coming this afternoon, and I'll be really eager to, move more deeply into my own process. At some point, I will share that. And we'll discuss it. Okay, we'll do a live stream. We'll discuss that. I continue to think that I'm leaving, but it is the way in which I'm leaving that's beginning to evolve, and I had to sort of let go and manage that process for myself. So I'm just sending all of you all of my love and, all of my sweet, tender feelings. I'm going through it. I'm kind of glad that I'm going through it in this intense way. So you guys get to watch me have my process a little bit. Yeah. So I think I will resist the urge to prattle on about that today. And I want to thank everybody for being here. I really appreciate your accompaniment. I've been getting a lot of messages. People, where are you? What's going on? It's just been intense here, and I've been rolling in the deep. I woke up this morning thinking about that Adele song, rolling in the deep. That's where I've been. And there have been moments when I felt like a crocodile had hold of me, or an alligator, and you know how they just roll their victims, in order to get their own sustenance. That's how it has felt to me. And I realized, oh, that's why that squirrel was there. Yeah, I have been rolled. I've been in the, my guides are saying there's some kind of a contraption where you put stones in it and you spin it and it polishes them, I guess. Oh, there. And there's the crystal. Okay, thank you. So that's the process that I've been in. And the rest of the story will emerge when the time is right. So I just thank you for all the love and support and the messages about, where are you? We haven't seen you. Just doing my own process. In order to be able to be here, continue to be here with you, if that's what my guides want from me, in a way that is experientially sound and filled with enough understanding, in order to continue to, okay, my guides are saying be in the boat with you, to be in the boat with you, because my journey is not separated from what anybody else is doing here, obviously. All right. So, gang, namaste. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. And I will look forward to being together with you very soon. Have a wonderful full moon. And feel free to send me messages, etc. I always enjoy the experience of being with you and hearing your adventures. All right. So on that note, I think I'm going to head out for the day and prep for my readings. And again, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. Thanks, gang. I'll see you soon.